Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Desk. I'm Chad. Amy's across from me, and today we're going to be talking about being social as an expat. Hey,
What's up?
not too much. What's going on? You got your nails did
I did get my nails done today and my toes.
and your toes.
Very
Today was
important.
double duty day.
Yeah, hair and nails. That's about all I do for myself, but they have to be done.
Yeah.
Which brings me to making sure I have a place to go to when we're in Sabaneta.
Right.
I go every 4 weeks for my hair, so the grays have to get covered. So
Well, you have, speaking of social, what we're talking about today,
yeah,
you have someone that we know down there, and their spouse
yes,
is,
a nail technician.
Yeah. and probably within the cosmetology community, so probably can have some referrals for you.
Yeah,
We know where we're staying, so it's now we're capable of figuring out based on proximity, right? They
yeah,
might have a great recommendation, but if it takes you a half hour to get there, or
yeah,
it's you know,
right.
so a lot of good information. Now we can start looking for. And actually, the other night you were looking at all the various restaurants and whatnot that were around where we're going to be.
Yeah. Like one of our favorite restaurants there is 5-7 minute walk
We
from
went there
our.
multiple
Yeah,
times.
just
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Casa Polo Gastropub.
right.
So good.
What did you love about it?
I loved the food. It was a little warm in there. That was the only thing, but I loved the service. It was quiet. The food was delicious. Just great customer service. It was wonderful.
Yeah, they were really great. And I started following them on Instagram and seeing all the various food dishes. Like
Mhm.
we toyed with the menu, but we got nowhere near
What they have
what they have
available.
available.
Yeah.
And so I still get to see all the cool things that they make and the drinks that they make and the events that they host there,
Mhm.
the gatherings. And so that's a place we're going to continue to learn a lot more about
Yes.
as we go during different times, as we get through their menu more. But everything we had was just phenomenal.
It was great. Even at let me see if I can say this right. Sucursal,
Hmm.
Mirador, up on the mountain.
Up top.
Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, I love the dress you wore that night.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I have it. I have two.
Yeah, you do. So today we're talking about social,
Yeah.
and that could be taken as a pretty broad topic, but I think more specifically we're talking about if you're going. It's easy if you're going someplace to fall into your own bubble,
Right.
and it's easy to just get caught up with the day to day, just in a different place. And a pretty substantial part of what we want to do is make sure that we're taking in the culture, that we're embedding ourselves, that we are participating. Part of the reason why we chose Colombia is they have a very rich culture,
Yeah.
and I think it's important for us to make sure that we not only honor it, but we also participate with it. Tell me your
Right.
thoughts.
Not quite as much as we are active here in the States, right? We are members of 3 different chambers of commerce.
Mhm.
We have 2 businesses. It's just there's a lot that we have going on. We have our family here. So, and we don't really have any of that where we're headed to in Sabaneta or even Medellin. However, to go 3 months without going out to dinner with friends or hanging out with a group of expats, Sadie's sneezing over there. I think we can't hold ourselves up because that's completely out of our norm, right? We don't have to be as active there as we are here, but I think it's really important for us. Other people may see it differently. They may be like, okay, I don't want to be around anybody. Well, it's kind of hard where we're going because there's just people everywhere.
Yeah,
And the Colombian culture calls for always doing things.
true.
Yeah.
Here in the States, we talk a lot about the struggles of work-life balance.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big topic, especially when you're trying to figure out a culture within a company, and HR companies are trying to figure out ways, HR departments are trying to figure out ways to build a culture where people feel their work life balance is honored,
Mm-hmm.
and support them with that. I feel just from the research, what you've told me and what we experienced, that there's not that big of an issue with it. When it's
No.
time to work, you go to work. When it's time to relax, you relax. When it's time,
Yeah.
right? And um, that's what that translates to me is, sure, we might not be participating in events like Chamber of Commerce, which are business driven.
Sure.
We might be doing, breakfast meetups to get to know the neighbors and the people around the area. We might be at the pool one day, and maybe it's a good idea for us to just have conversations with the neighbors and the other
Sure.
people there, right? And then like prioritizing those life part of the work life balance conversations and getting involved in those types of communities doesn't mean it has to rule our life,
Right.
but it is something that I think getting outside our bubble and really honoring the culture and the community
Right.
is something that we're gonna
Yeah. I think,
find pretty important.
yeah. So my question to you is, where can we find that stuff?
Great question. Nice segue. So, I've got a couple of places that we're going to share on our screen. These are in no way, shape, or form the best or
Right.
the worst. These are just ones that we feel could be a great starting point for somebody to find out if it resonates with you.
Yeah, and we're doing this too, right? When we go
Yep.
down for 3 months, this is something that we are going to be looking at as well. And so if you know of something that we don't, please put it in the comments, like let us know and we can add that.
Yes, absolutely. So let me go ahead and get our screen switched over so that we are hidden and the screen is full screen. And we're going to kick it off with, what is it, Medellin community?
So
Let's
yeah,
start.
so this I mean, primary oh my gosh, there was a bug or a spider on me. Gosh, give me a moment. Someone's
So
crawling up my leg.
you sent me several.
I did. And this one you said it looks like 80% is primarily for women, yeah?
Okay, so I went through this, and as a website designer, as a marketing person, there's things that stick out to me that feels very welcoming and resonating with women.
Right.
And then I went through their Instagram, and there was a lot of women within the pictures. Not to say that there weren't men there, but it definitely felt more prominent
Mhm.
towards women. And then when we go to the categories, a lot of those seemed like they would resonate more with female minds
Okay.
than male minds. But by no means is this women's only group, and by no means is this something that, from my observation, they're doing things that are only, women enjoyed. I think that it's very broad and welcoming to all, but it does seem a little skewed, which
Yep.
is not a bad thing at all. Because you had mentioned something that, about there's not always the opportunity for women to gather together. Those are going to be more sparse than the
Yeah.
co-gender options
And I don't know that for certain. This is just with the research
through
that
your
I've
research,
done.
right?
It may be very different when we get down there, but if you're not down there yet, right? Or wherever you're going, Spain, wherever it is, all you have is Google.
Right.
So, yeah, this was great to find.
Okay, so I'm going to
What
go
do you
through
got?
this one just a little bit. So their key things is that they have events and they have communities. Um,
Which is cool.
are all powered by WhatsApp, so it's like a group message kind of
Yeah.
community. And then events are like the events that are posted for people to just drop into. So when we go down, and this is the community section. So the first one is your women's group, right? Ladies group. You've got cooking, you got hiking, arts and culture, writing, Pride Zone, women over 50, cycling. So when I look at this group of communities, I say I fit into the minority of them, right?
Sure.
But when you look at it, you're like, there's several things that are kind of cool here,
Yeah.
right? So that was one of the things that I noticed, which is great, right? It's great that there are communities for women
Well, what
expats.
does it say when you hit view all communities? Is
It
it
shows a list of,
more?
yes. So,
there we go.
so we got some real estate and rental, co-working, arts and culture, Laureles, Envigado and
Look,
Sabaneta,
Envigado and Sabaneta neighborhood. Look at that. No,
and
Laureles.
then parents and
Oh,
cycling.
yeah. Okay.
Right. So there's
A few
plenty.
more.
There's
Sure.
absolutely plenty. And I clicked on this one since this covers our
Mm-hmm.
community. And then it takes you to WhatsApp. So you would join that group via WhatsApp. Um, so it seems like their communities are powered by WhatsApp, which
Which
is,
that's how it is
uh,
in Colombia.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's essentially just a um, WhatsApp powered Facebook group
Hmm.
that is probably private. It's
Right.
probably, you have to be accepted to join
Sure.
kind of thing. So that is the community section, which I think is really cool. I mean, you're just directly connecting with the people.
A co-working club as well. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. I imagine that this is going to be the same thing when I click these, that they're
Sure.
all the groups. Okay. So this one's a type form, which means you're kind of requesting to join this one.
Okay.
Yep. So they might all be powered differently. So lots of communities there, and then for events, they've got 3 events here. This one is today, and it says not another language exchange
It's funny.
because that's a common
So
theme.
funny.
You've got the Colombia versus Brazil match tomorrow that they're going to be gathering together and watching the game,
Gosh, what a game that'll be.
and then you've got let's see, beyond small talk. Create a space for people to connect where we will learn how to ask better questions. Interesting.
Hmm.
Right? So it's geared around digital nomads, expats, as well as folks from the local community.
Yeah.
So very cool website. Good find on this one.
Thanks.
Anything
Yeah.
else you want to go into on this one?
No, I found this one, oh gosh, probably early on, almost a year ago, and obviously haven't dove into it any deeper because we're not living there yet. But this is one that I am personally going to reach out just for me as a woman. I, need my own time and space sometimes, just like you do. So this is something that I could potentially maybe have a Colombian female friend and we could learn from each other. I don't know. The possibilities are kind of endless with this, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, very cool. It looks like this little browser crashed. So we're going to come back to this one in a
Okay.
second. Okay. Let's jump into this one. So this is the Sabaneta Expats. I am not part of this group. You are. So I'm gonna let you tell us a little bit about this group.
It's just, as you see, Medellin Guru, which I love, which is also on our list today to go through. Medellin Guru was one of the first websites that I came across that had some really valuable information, and they are continuously upgrading. Um, did,
You just keep going.
oh, okay. But Sabaneta Expats. So a lot of your Facebook groups out there are pretty toxic.
Mm.
And you and I don't roll that way. We want to be helpful and receive help and, be able to learn from each other, so forth and so on. So this one is great. It has the Medellin Guru is on here. Can you scroll down a little bit for me?
Yeah.
Um,
I was gonna see if I could open up this
yeah.
about.
So they tell you no swearing, no politics, no personal attacks, no bullying, no comments that break the law or encourage unlawful activity. And I think this is kind of like on all of them, but um, it's monitored a little bit better, I think. And I don't see as much from this as I do the other one that you and I are a part of, which is Medellin for non-jerks.
And we'll actually see that one of them's private and this one's public. So
Yeah.
this one's like open to absolutely anybody,
I
where the other one is a closed group.
And it's monitored and it's really great. Medellin for
You have to be
non-jerks is
approved.
really great. You have
Yeah.
to be approved for that one. This one, the public ones, I don't know. You just got to be careful, and if it's something that you want to be a part of, great. But just be nice.
Yeah. Absolutely no real estate posts, no spamming. So they do have rules, but your experience was it was not quite as heavily regulated and moderated as.
Medellin for non-jerks is
Yeah.
heavily, and you can do real estate posts and things there. So if you're looking for an apartment, there's all kinds of great things that go on there, but they're very helpful with the Medellin for non-jerks. This one, I don't know. Like I said, I don't.
Seems more resource than
It's more resource based.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump over to the non-jerks one.
Yep.
So we are both members of this one.
So you have to be members, which they say yes or no whether you can join or not. And just like this, Ruth Cruz, has anyone purchased property as a foreigner? Uh, were you able to connect your utilities such as electricity? So it's really fantastic for foreigners to get information that you may not be able to get anywhere else.
Right, and then have multiple points of view so that
Hmm.
the original poster can make an informed decision based
Right.
off of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my favorite one. And I know Andrew with the Medellin Buzz, he is one of the moderators for this. So he is one of the people that kind of looks out and watches out. So it's really, really nice
Let's jump
group.
over here to Medellin Guru.
Medellin Guru. Yep.
Great resource.
It is. They have a lot of great things. Things to do, live in Colombia, services, lifestyle. Can you kind of look at that one?
Yeah.
So, co-working, expat stories, tips, sports and fitness, all kinds of things, healthcare, neighborhood, security and safety. They have a ton of resources on here for folks. I personally like this one. I mean, each to their own, I guess, but at least check it out. See what you think.
It almost feels like a vetted may not be the right word, but kind of like filtered Google search
Mhm.
result specific for
Medellin, see,
yes.
yeah.
That's kind of what it feels
I
like.
just said see, yeah. And things to do, restaurants. And I want to say this, I'm not going to remember restaurant. I don't, I think it's just Medellin, but it's been a minute since I've looked at it. So, but they have different places that you can go, different categories. It's really nice.
Awesome. And jump to the last one.
So,
It's the boys.
my most favorite, yeah, I am partial to these two guys because they show up very genuine and really wanting to help. So that was probably what drew me to them the most. And nobody pays us for any of this stuff. Like we have zero affiliation, except we actually joined one of their master classes.
Yeah.
And that was awesome and amazing. But if you go a step higher, there's 3 tiers, I believe. And if you're on that second and third tier, the highest and in the middle, you actually can become a part of their community. And I think they meet up once a month. So, feel free to check them out, email them, see what it's all about. Take the master class. We did the smaller one for right now because it was a ways out before we were going to be leaving. So, but yeah, great guys. And meeting up with, I don't know, 30 people.
Yeah.
That's a really great way to get to know some new
You'll
people.
also be meeting up with like-minded people who are
Yeah.
going through a similar program, who probably have similar
Right.
circumstances. And so that in itself is a solid
Yeah,
community.
that they vet.
Yeah. Cool. Great resources.
Yeah.
So what else when it comes to community do you think is important?
I'm going to tell a little story first before
Yeah.
we. So when you and I arrived to our Airbnb back in February, it was extremely loud. We heard this music coming from behind our Airbnb, and I was like, "Holy
I think
cow!"
it was the night
It
of.
was really loud. It was a Thursday. Was it a Thursday night?
I don't know.
Maybe it was a
We
Thursday. I
were
think we were
starving,
starving and
trying to figure out the lock.
exhausted, trying to figure out the lock. Yeah. And Jorge, our driver, with MJ
The tours. MJD tours.
MJD tours, the tours. Yeah, we should know this. They are awesome and amazing. Highly recommend them as well. But he was trying to help us get the door open too. But I heard this loud music, and so once we finally got in and we went up the stairs there into the garage, tiniest parking spaces I've ever seen in my life. And I looked over, and there are women that look like they were in their 60s dancing in a parking lot with a beautiful Colombian woman who was teaching them how to, I don't know, salsa dance, but they were all lined up like line dancing, except It was salsa dancing, I believe. It was fantastic. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, play that music all night long." Like this was great. So
Yeah.
things like that.
I mean, just imagine like you're, going to pick up groceries and you see people just gathered up doing
Yeah,
workout dancing in their 60s at the CVS parking lot.
they
Like
really promote
just
health. Yeah, it was really great. And for
and
me,
blaring
it was
music.
blaring music, but once I saw the why behind it, it didn't bother me anymore.
Right.
Strange, but yeah, it was really great. So
I think we heard
finding
it again and we were like,
we
oh,
did.
they're back.
Yes, they're
They're
the
doing their
ladies are
thing.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really cool. And they just had, and Medellin has way more than of things to do than Sabaneta does. You'll find more co-working spaces and things like that in Medellin. They have a huge expat community there of all ages. So it's really cool. And we just hop on the metro or grab an Uber and head up to meet some people in Medellin if we want to, which is really cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have any more questions. Do you have
No,
any questions?
I
Are you
guess I'm
are
just
you
curious.
curious if I'm going to be
I
participating?
am curious. I'm the extrovert. You're the introvert.
So I learned something about introvert and extrovert.
Do tell.
So somebody can be out there, but introvert extrovert is based off of where you get your energy from, the method of how you get your energy. So do you recharge internally or do you recharge from other people? Which one of those do you thrive from?
Can that change as you get older? Okay,
Yes.
great. Because now I think I'm
Well,
flipped.
how you yes, so you can both change how you recharge, where you gain energy from, but you can also change how you expel your energy. So you could
Mm,
be I'll give you an example. It's a hypothetical, but you could be somebody who was a server at a busy bar, and you
yeah,
just have to be loud and outgoing, but you can still go home and be drained for the day. So you're capable of putting on the Ritz, but realistically that's not where you draw your energy from. And most people who do find themselves being super exhausted the day or days
yeah,
after a big peopling kind of thing are typically introverted people, even though they still may have the ability to portray themselves as an outgoing, loud, fun, energetic, high energy person. That doesn't necessarily make them an extrovert. They could easily be super drained from those
interesting.
activities.
Well,
I learned that last week.
up until probably 3 or 4 years ago, I loved being out and about and dancing and having fun and been that way my whole life up until about 3 years ago. And now I will go out and meet people and greet and put on the smile. And I'm genuinely happy to see a lot of people. But we went out to dinner last night and I don't know. I just love
It was
being,
plenty.
it was plenty.
Don't need to do that tomorrow and the day
No,
after and the day after.
no, we don't.
It was
We're
great to
very
it was
happy
great to
here.
see some friends who are from
Yeah,
out of town
it was great.
who came in, but at the same time, we just don't need that in order to recharge. Where there's folks who do need that. That's their method of recharging.
Yeah. I do think being social is important though. But I don't know. And that's why I said earlier, I think each to their own, like whatever it is
Yes.
that you're looking for. And then you and I are also uh, going down there for 3 months to do things differently, to slow down,
Yeah.
to enjoy more, still work, but be able to balance that a little bit
So I'm
differently.
looking at the screen. That's something I really liked about this list of communities. So there was a writing club
Hmm.
and there was a book club. And oftentimes those are going to be, in my mind, I've never been to a book club or a writing
Me
club, but
either.
my assumption is going to be those are going to be not as socially exhausting and not
Mm,
like draining, but exhausting, like you're putting out a lot, as say a cooking. That's going to be more
right.
interactive,
Yeah.
right? Or hiking's probably going to be a little bit quieter and out in nature, maybe not.
I don't know.
Um, you
We
know,
did a cooking.
the parents community.
We're
So
over
there's
that.
Well, like, I guess what I'm getting at is it seems like this mdecommunity.com has a mix that would cater to both those types who are
Sure.
um,
Single, parents, older, whatever.
Want to talk a lot, don't want to talk a lot. Want that socialization in a heavy amount, want just a
Right.
little bit. Want to basically share their loves and passions, but
Interesting.
not at that high energy
Right. The
requirement.
Envigado Sabaneta neighborhood I'm interested in. Um, I don't know if I want to be with a group of women.
Over the women over 50 or the
That
type of
one
women?
or the Mujeres group. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's the beauty in all of this is we get to check it out and see for ourselves.
Well, I'm certainly not going to be part of the cycling group. No, that. Can you imagine like being like a power bicycle rider in the mountains there?
Nope.
There were cars getting stuck going up the
Yeah.
mountain when we went to the restaurant.
We never saw a bicycle doing that though. A motorcycle, yeah, but not a bicycle.
I know. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I
um,
wouldn't ride a bicycle on those busy roads anyway.
yeah. Well, you know me. I wouldn't
That
ride a
would be
bicycle on a flat road.
dangerous. I love to bicycle though. So
Okay.
anyway, that's what we've come up with.
Yeah.
And do you enjoy it? I know we're going to, and most of the time it'll just be us going to the pool or working or just hanging out, walking Sadie, doing a little hike with her or something. But yeah, maybe a dinner once in a while or
Good enough
meeting
for me.
somebody. Yeah, it's plenty. We
It's
don't need
plenty.
large groups either, so it'll be it'll be great.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, until next time, guys, keep expanding your horizons and living beyond the desk. Have an extraordinary week.